Buongiorno a tutti e bentornati sul canale di Young. Siamo qui oggi per un evento davvero speciale. Abbiamo infatti il piacere di poter intervistare in esclusiva Sebastian Borget, che è il COO e co-founder di The Sandbox. Si tratta di un progetto che sta riscontrando sempre più successo all'interno del mondo delle criptovalute e della blockchain ed è un progetto che abbiamo deciso di listare su Young Platform. Vi introduco subito Sebastian. Hi Sebastian.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Sebastian is the COO and co-founder of the Sandbox. And so, Sebastian, if you can describe to our community what the Sandbox project is all about, if you want to describe your role at the Sandbox.
Absolutely. My name is Sebastian Borget. I'm the COO and co-founder at the Sandbox. The Sandbox is a gaming virtual world on the Ethereum blockchain where creators can make 3D assets and games and monetize them through the use of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, as well as Sand, our main utility token of the platform. We are a franchise that exists for now 10 years, started on mobile in 2011, had more than 40 million players in installs back then. And over the last 3 years, we launched a sequel, a new version that this time is in 3D, multiplayer, multi-platform, and that use NFTs to allow anyone to make their own NFT and start owning the asset, owning the land where they publish the game, monetize their time, monetize their creation, trade them, exchange them, sell them if they want on marketplaces. We have more than 60 partnerships to date, including major IPs and brands that are part of our virtual world. And so far, the Sandbox is one of the most active community. So we're really thankful to our community and specifically our Italian community today for being part of this fantastic journey with us.
Okay, thank you, Sebastian. And how did the idea for the Sandbox come about?
When we founded my previous company, a mobile game studio, as I mentioned, Sandbox came out about 10 years ago. The idea was there was this kind of game called powder game or dust game where you could just play with physical elements, soil, water, steam, etc. And it was mostly a physics simulator. We took that idea and we say, what if we just allow any player to become a creator, dropping elements with a touch of their finger on the mobile screen and share those creations online. And that's how the first Sandbox idea started. And 10 years later, it's the new Sandbox, this time 3D and on the blockchain, is essentially keeping all the roots from the franchise. We want to allow anyone to make games without any programming knowledge. So just drag and drop assets, drag and drop NFTs into a virtual world and publish that world on the land so they can then allow players to participate in those game experience, play, earn, collect rewards, collect tokens, and be engaged with them.
Cool. So everyone right now is talking about this NFT non-fungible token. Can you describe to our community what is a non-fungible token and why do you think that they can represent a real revolution?
We've been true pioneers in the space of non-fungible token. We've been building the Sandbox for the last 3 years and we have launched already several ones. What is a non-fungible token? It's a piece of digital asset. It can be music, it can be art, it can be collectible, it can be game asset, sport ticket, anything essentially that is represented on the blockchain and has specific attributes. Those attributes being the fact that they have a scarcity, so a limited supply that anyone can see on the blockchain. They are unique. So unlike one Bitcoin and another Bitcoin, which can be interchanged, NFTs each one is unique. So a gold sword and a silver sword, even they are both swords, have different attributes. They cannot be interchanged that easily. They are indivisible. So similarly, you cannot have 0.0001 of a sword. It's one, many, or zero. And main benefit of these NFTs is that as a user, as a player, particularly in gaming, is you own them in your wallet and you can use them in a game, but you can also trade them on marketplaces in a permissionless manner. So you don't need to ask the permission from the developer of the game to be able to transfer the content to another user, sell that content on marketplaces, or use that content potentially in other games, which is a major revolution in gaming. Like, games are centralized, walled garden. They are trying to keep their users and all the data, all the virtual currency, all the game assets that you bought in game. You can never take them away. If you leave the game, you basically lose all your progress, all your content, all your virtual currency. So all that content you bought, you spent time to acquire by playing, was never really yours, basically. And it's difficult to put value onto something that's not really yours. You cannot transfer it. With the use of non-fungible token, all the content, all your avatar, your identities, the object or asset you acquire are yours, including also the tokens, the equivalent of virtual currency, so Sand in our case. And so this is because it's yours, it can be exchanged, it can be valued, other users can want it. And so this is the premises of building the virtual economy into virtual world. That's why NFTs are so important. They are growing. They facilitate access to the creator economy to monetize your time in ways that's never done before. And that's why now we are seeing a lot more influencers, celebrity, artists, creators, game makers as well jump on board.
Yeah. So you mentioned this NFT connected to the world of art, to the world of music, and also, of course, to the world of video games. How do you see them connected to the world of video games? Because you mentioned that with NFTs you are the real owner of something, even in a not real world, in not a physical world. So how do you see them connected to the specific world of video games?
But in the video game, more specifically, unlike we mentioned art, we mentioned music or sport collectible, for example, which are also very hot NFTs at the moment. Those are just collectible. You own them; they are rare. So, but they not necessarily have a specific utility, rather than being maybe aesthetically great looking or just being rare. In video games, NFTs have additionally an utility. Like, if you acquire a character that's very powerful and rare, you're most likely able to use that character in the game, and the characteristics, the attributes of that character will impact your gameplay, will impact maybe the way that you can earn rewards, finish first at a tournament, complete your goals. And this is participating to a new business model called play to earn, where your asset can be put to use to produce actively more return of value of your time for you. So, and that's, I think, something really interesting and unique with gaming that you don't find in other industries. Yeah. In Sandbox, additionally, there's also this concept of virtual real estate with land, because besides being a gaming platform, we're also a virtual world with a limited map, and on each of those maps, it's pretty simple to understand. As you own a map, it's a piece, it's a place, it's a digital space where users can publish their games, can start monetizing their content. If you cannot publish your game, you cannot monetize it to have players coming into it, and also enable other business model like renting that land to creator, creating different point of attraction based on your content, etc. So that's something also like we're seeing more and more people being interested in, is digital land, virtual land as NFTs.
Great. So about the Sandbox, what are the developments that await us in the coming months?
Well, we've already achieved several milestones at Sandbox since for the past 3 years. We've launched in beta several creation tools of our platform. Our NFT maker called VoxEdit, which is a 3D editor where you can make voxel-based content, animate them, publish it to the marketplace for other users to acquire it. We've launched the marketplace, and essentially a map where we've sold in various pre-sale rounds up to 45% of our total map, each of those lands being a unique NFTs. And really interestingly, last month in February, we sold more value than what we did in the past 2 years, showing this acceleration of adoption of NFTs in general. We've launched the beta of the Game Maker as well, that, as I mentioned, enables anyone to create game experience just by drag and drop, no programming knowledge required. And we have hundreds of active users using those products on daily basis. The next step for this year is to open the public alpha to players. So let them discover some of the games made by the creators using the tools, participate in play to earn seasons where they'll be able to collect rewards and exchange those rewards if they want to for tokens of value, and hence turn their time into potential revenue streams. We are also preparing soon to open our marketplace in beta, allowing anyone to make their NFTs and start selling them. We'll do it progressively, first through selecting great content, high quality creators. And we know we do have some in our Italian community. So excited to see some of this content coming from Akatao, to mention one of the most talented creators working with us on Sandbox, but there's many others. And we are excited to have this marketplace launch, I would say, before the end of the month in March, and really enable anyone to buy, collect, own, and use the NFTs in Sandbox.
Great. So a lot of news, a lot of information, and so thank you so much, Sebastian, for being here today and talking about the Sandbox and what is going on with this really interesting project. So I moved now to Italian, so come avrete potuto sentire, avrete potuto capire, si tratta davvero di uno dei progetti più rivoluzionari in questo momento all'interno del mondo delle criptovalute, che unisce non solo tutto il mondo di videogame, ma anche il mondo del trend degli NFT. E quindi ovviamente per tutti coloro che volessero approfondire vi ricordo che è disponibile sulla nostra Academy un articolo dedicato, su StepDrop potete trovare tutti i quiz collegati. Che dire, thank you so much, Sebastian, ci sentiamo presto.
Thank you so much, Diego. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much to all our Italian community.
Grazie. Ciao, Sebastian.
Ciao, ciao.